video is brought to you by Letsynthesize Academy, the #1 place for practice-oriented courses for serious music producers.
Hey, Teddy Killerz here, welcome to the newest Synthesize Sunday episode, and today I want to show you how to make a drop that is very similar to the Teddy Killerz remix of Nitro, like this. Like always, you can download this whole project from my Patreon below, and if you want to dig deeper into production, click here for my noisier style Nitro drum bass start to finish masterclass. But right now, let's jump into it. Okay, so here are the main basses. So as you can see, the main bass is only one Serum preset. So this is the main bass. It's a little noisy, a little crackly, but you can clean it up in post-process. The Serum preset is so simple you won't believe it. So I'm using one sine, frequency modulated by another sine, that is on synchro mode, controlled by LE41, and oscillator B is 1 octave higher. And in the effects, we have some slight distortion, some extra voices, a phaser. And actually this is very important. So the EQ, if you boost it at 1K, at around 1K, just listen what a huge difference it makes. So boring, but with some EQing. Now here is the thing, in the last video, you can check it here, I showed you a very cool fat rack. And without the rack and some other post-process, some gate, you know, to get rid of the noises, an extra OTT, some EQing, actually it is very hard EQing, and a saturation. So this is how the original preset sounds. Isn't it funny? But let's turn on the fat rack. Now what really makes a sound is the several types of distortions that I already covered in last week's video, but there is one very cool trick here. Just listen closely. This dude here, the unison dude. So if I disable it, can you see how much of a difference it creates to the sound? So let's jump into the rack. It's a very cool technique. The special resonator creates this kind of sound. So as you can see, I automated the tri-bat, and the unison mode creates the very cool sound. So this is the sound that I added to the original. So when we get to that section where, you know, it has a little sustained sound, I just add a few percentage of unison with the special resonator, and it creates a whole different sound. So this is a very cool device. Like always, I'm so shocked how cool this new special resonator is. Now I had to add the gates to get rid of a little extra noise and OTT, but this EQ is very important. So first I had to chop off the very heavy middle basses. It just makes the sound so boomy. This is the area that you definitely need to take care of. So it's around 150 Hz, but you can go higher with the boominess if the sound requires it. Now there are some very weird sounds that comes from the preset when I activate the synchronization mode, because it creates a little higher frequency kind of noise that with the lots of distortion and compression is just brought out. I'm not really sure about that. So this is the frequency I'm talking about. So I'm sure that you can hear what difference it makes, but I was able to automate that one too when we get to the sustained part. And all together with the spectral resonator, it creates a cool sound. So without boosting up that frequency, it's just not the same. We definitely need that very cool middle frequency character to it. And with the EQing, you can create this very nice magic. And then a saturator. Now, in this version, in the second part of the drop, I did the same, but I only changed a few stuff here, like changing the wavetable, the main wavetable to monster. And you know, I stopped using frequency modulation, and I also used the bandpass fader. In the FX, there is nothing changed here. And with this, I was able to create a whole different sound. But I layered it up with this very weird kind of thing. Now I want to show you another cool thing. So as you can see, these little chops here. Also in the second part. So what I did with these things is I basically took the whole sound, now of course without the cuts first, the whole thing. So I opened a new audio track, I clicked on resampling, and I just recorded this one. So this is a very short kind of sound. So I double clicked on it, reversed it. It was in complex pro mode and pulled the transposition back to -1 octave. This is the trick, but I also added a few filters to chop off the very lows and some highs, and boom, we are done with this very cool hit that plays a very important role to the groove, I guess. So I did the same with this part, so I'm not using the same sample, because you know, if I go back, reverse, and this time I went up on the transposition knob. Okay, so can you see how important it is to be creative with the spectral resonator and even with the EQs? So if you want to download this whole project, click my Patreon and click here for my Noisier Style Masterclass. See you guys next time. Peace.